Hello friends, I hope you are all doing good. Welcome back. So let us continue our discussion on salary. So after a long time, after a short break, long break, not short break. After a short break, I am resuming the YouTube lectures. So today we'll be continuing the discussion from the past video, whichever you have seen from that video. Past video was with respect to what, sir? It was with respect to retirement benefits. We had completed the discussion on retirement benefit in our previous class. So as of now, we have discussed about these things under salary, which is the basics of salary: basic pay, dearness allowances, bonus, commission, advance salary, arrears of salary. Then we started our discussion with the retirement benefits, which is gratuity, pension, leave salary, retrenchment compensation and voluntary retirement scheme. So in our today's class, we'll be discussing about what, sir? In our today's class, we'll be discussing about allowances. Beautiful point, beautiful point. Very beautiful discussion we'll be having on the small topic called as allowances. So without wasting a single second, let us straight away start our discussion on a beautiful topic called as allowances. Now, sir, what do you mean by allowances, sir? Oh, sir. Oh, sir. Tell me. Sir, what do you mean by allowances? Sir, oh, sir. Please tell us, sir, what do you mean by allowances? Now, students normally get confused with this word called as allowances, and there is one more thing called as perquisites. There is one more thing called as perquisites. So, students normally get confused with this allowances and perquisites. Now, is there a difference between allowance and perquisites? Answer is 100% yes, there is a difference between allowances and perquisites. Sir, what is the difference? Sir, please tell us, what do you mean by allowance and what do you mean by perquisites? See, basically, allowances means the company is giving you some money, just like something which we discussed in our beginning of salary, that there is something called as dearness allowance. The second point, basic salary, then dearness allowance. Now, to compensate the inflation, to compensate the cost of living, to compensate the increase in the cost of living, the company is giving you something called as dearness allowance. The company is giving you something called as dearness allowance. Just like that, allowances means it is some money which is given by the government. Allowance is what, sir? Allowance is the money which is given by the, not government, sorry. Allowance is the money. Why will government give you money? Allowances means what, sir? Allowance is the money which is given by the employer for various different activities. Now, the salary which you get, no, the salary has different components in it. One such component is called as allowances. Now, sir, why is this allowances given to us? Now, the allowances may be given to meet some kind of expenses. Say, you may be getting transport allowance for you to come from office to house, house to office, etc. For that commutation, for that transportation purpose, they may give you some money called as transport allowance. Then they may give you something called as house rent allowance. They may give you something called as HRA or house rent allowance. Sir, why will this HRA be given? This HRA may be given so that, sir, why is this HRA given, sir? This HRA may be given so that you pay for your rent. You may be staying in a rental property, so they will be giving you house rent allowances. To meet your rental expenses, they will be giving something called as house rent allowance. Sometimes they may give you, medical allowance. So there are different kinds of allowances. Anyways, we'll see all these things, how it is taxed, etc. Allowances is the money which the company is giving you, the money which the employer is giving you to meet different kind of expenses. However, on the other hand, we have something called as perquisites. Sir, what is perquisites, sir? Now, when you ask someone, no, they feel, when you normally see that, normally when we discussed about allowances and perquisites, they may feel similar, they may sound similar, they may look similar, not sound similar, they may look similar. Sir, how does it look similar, sir? Now, perquisites are also the same thing, similar thing, not exactly same but similar. Now, if the company is giving you a car for transportation, please use this car for your office purpose, from coming and going to house, you please use this car, then that is treated as perquisites. If the company is giving you money for a particular purpose, allowance. If the same thing is given in non-monetary terms, then it is perquisites. Now, the company is giving you money for your rental expenses. For your rental expenses, the company is giving you money for your rental expenses. That means the company is giving you house rent allowance. On the other hand, when the company gives you a house for staying, the company is giving you a house so that you can stay in the particular house. This is the company's house where you can stay. Then this is called as perquisites. So I hope you have understood the basic difference between allowances and perquisites. What is allowances, sir? Allowances are in monetary terms and perquisites are not in monetary terms. Normally perquisites are not in monetary terms. Please note, normally perquisites are not in monetary terms, but allowances are always in monetary terms. So if the company is giving, the employer is giving some kind of money to you, then that means that the employer is giving you allowances, but he is giving that particular thing to you. That means the company is giving a perquisites to you. So we'll be discussing the different types of allowances which are there and how it is taxed, etc. Whether these allowances are required to be included while computation of your salary, or these allowances are not required to be included in computation of salary, etc., etc. So let us straight away start our discussion. Our discussion on what, sir? Our discussion on allowances. Let us straight away start our discussion on this beautiful topic called as what? Allowances. Now, there are different allowances. Like before, please write it down with me so that you will be understanding what are the different allowances which are there. Now, if you see your material, if you see your institute material, they are giving the different list of allowances, some to 15-20 allowances, the complete list they have given. But there is a different method by which I will be teaching you about these allowances. You follow this method. This is a very simple and easy method for understanding this. Okay, so you can follow the same method for your learning purpose. So what is this, sir? First, you can write it with me. You can write it with me so that you'll remember the points. So one side write particulars and another side write a column of remarks. So there should be two columns over here. Column number 1 will be with respect to particulars and column number 2 will be with respect to remarks. Okay, column number 1, first item, first perquisites which are there. What is the first perquisite which you are going, what is the first allowance which you are going to talk about, sir? First allowance which we are going to learn about is commutation allowance. Sir, what is this commutation allowance, sir? So the first allowance about which we are going to learn is which allowance, sir? It is this commutation allowance. Now, I'll also be writing the other name which is used for this allowance. Normally in your material or in your examination, if they are giving, if they are talking about commutation allowance, that means they are talking about this point. And what is the other name which this allowance has? I am going to write that also, so you know what is this particular allowance. It is also called as transport allowance, commutation allowance, or it is also called as what, sir? It is also called as transport allowance, commutation allowance, or it is also called as what? Transport allowance, commutation allowance, or it is also called as transport allowance. Now, what is this commutation allowance, sir? What do you mean by commutation allowance, or what do you mean by transport allowance? So if your company, if your employer is giving you money to travel from office to house and house to office, to travel from office to house and house to office, then that money which is given by him is called as transport allowance. That amount which is given by your employer, for what purpose? For your transportation. That money which is given by the employer for your transportation from house to office and office to house is called as what, sir? Is called as transport allowance. It is called as transport allowance or commutation allowance. Now, sir, is this commutation allowance required to be included in your salary? 100% yes. All the allowances which we are going to discuss, everything is required to be included in your salary. Now, sir, is this commutation allowance taxable, sir? Yes, your commutation allowance is fully taxable. This commutation allowance which is there, that will form part of your salary, and this commutation allowance which is there, no, that is fully taxable. That is fully taxable. So this commutation allowance which you are receiving is fully taxable. So if you are working for some company and if the company is paying you commutation allowance, then that commutation allowance will form part of your salary. You should include it in your salary computation. You are supposed to include that in your salary computation. Now, one important point you should note here is this commutation allowances is exempt for some category of people. Rupees 3,200 per month. Rupees 3,200 per month is exempt. The commutation allowance of rupees 3,200 per month is exempt for blind, deaf, or in short we can call it as handicapped employee. So if the company has employed handicapped employee, and if the company is paying an commutation allowance or transport allowance to handicapped employee, if the company is paying commutation allowance or handicapped or transport allowance to this handicapped employee, then for those handicapped employee it will be exempt. Sir, what do you mean by this? Say for example, Priya Sarees has 50 employees. Out of these 50 employees, we have 47 employees who are normal employees, who are not disabled or who are not handicapped, etc. And we have 3 employees who are blind. We have 3 employees who are blind. Now, what is the duty of these employees, sir? Normally, they are normally whatever customer queries are there, etc. They are sitting on the telephone, etc. They are like our it is like our call center in our office only, wherein any customer has any query, any customer is calling and asking, sir, where is your address, we want to come visit, sir, do you have this kind of saree, etc. So these people answer to those queries. Now I am giving, Priya Sarees is giving transport allowances to all our employees. We are giving transport allowance of 5,000 rupees to these employees. All the employees I am giving how much, sir? 5,000 rupees transport allowance is given. Now for these 47 employees, it is fully taxable. When you are going to calculate the salary or compute the salary for these 47 employees, these 47 employees salary computation, this allowance will be taken. For these 47 employees, for salary computation, the allowance is required to be taken. However, for these 3 employees, 5,000 is the amount which is paid by me. Now the taxable amount will be what, sir? 5,000 minus 3,200. 5,000 minus 3,200, which is 1,800 rupees per month. So 1,800 rupees per month is taxable for deaf, blind, handicapped employees, etc. And for other employees, it is fully taxable. So normally, if we talk about commutation allowance means what, sir? The money which is given for your transportation purpose from your office to house, house to office, office to house, house to office, office to house, house to office is called as commutation allowance. And this commutation allowance is what, sir? Fully taxable. This commutation allowance is what, sir? This commutation allowance is fully taxable. It is fully taxable. Now, next allowance, sir. Which is the next allowance? Tell us, no, sir. Please, no. Oh, sir. Please tell no. Oh, sir. Please tell us, no, sir. What is the next allowance? Wait. So the next type of allowance is children hostel allowance. So the next type of allowance is which allowance, sir? Children hostel allowance. So if you have any child, normally these companies give this particular allowances. Say that if you have any children, if they are studying in the hostel, then please take this hostel allowance. Sir, what if I don't have a child, and will the company give? Yeah, company. See, it is based on company policy. Company is giving you an allowance. Company is giving allowances, so to differentiate between all the different employees, these allowances will be given to all the employees. Children hostel allowance. So if the company is giving you an allowance called as children hostel allowance, now is this hostel allowance taxable, sir? Sir, will it form part of your salary, sir? Will this children hostel allowance form part of your salary? 100% yes, it will form part of your salary. But however, there is an exemption. How much is exempt, sir? Maximum rupees 300 per month per child. Now the children hostel allowance which is given by the employer, that will be taxable in the hands of employee. It will be taxable. Please note, in simple words I'll tell you first, instead of repeating the point for all the allowances which we are going to learn, whatever different types of allowances you are going to receive is taxable. But there are some allowances for which you get some kind of exemption. So these exemptions are going to be dealt with here. I am going to write in the remarks column, if there is any exemption allowed, then what is that exemption allowed, I am going to write those particular thing. So when we talk about any allowances, allowances means what, sir? It is forming part of your salary, then yes, and it is taxable, and it is taxable. Now in case of children hostel allowance, if you are receiving something called as children hostel allowance, then 300 rupees per month per child is exempt, and this exemption can be claimed for a maximum of 2 children. This exemption can be claimed for maximum how many children, sir? This exemption can be claimed by you for a maximum of 2 children. Now you can claim this children hostel allowance, and this children hostel allowance can be claimed by you for a maximum of 2 children. Sir, now my question to you is, tell me what is your question. Sir, my question to you is, I am not married, sir. I am not married. Okay, you are not married. Sir, I am not married, but the company is giving me children hostel allowance. The company is giving me children hostel allowance. Okay. Sir, I don't have kids only, sir. I don't have any kids, sir. I don't have any children, sir. I don't have any children. But still the company is giving me something called as children hostel allowance. Now, sir, my question to you is, can I claim exemption? Can I claim the exemption? Can I claim the exemption of rupees 300 per month per child? Company is giving 500 rupees, sir. Company is giving 500 rupees. Can I claim the exemption, sir? Answer is yes, you can claim the exemption. Sir, but I don't have children. No, sir, I don't care. Lawmakers are saying, I don't care. See, if you are getting, if the company is giving you this money, take the exemption. If the company is giving you children hostel allowance, take the exemption. Sir, I am married, but I don't have children. No problem. See, even if when you are not married, then only you are getting the benefit. Then obviously, if you are married, you will 100% get benefit. Sir, I am married, sir. Sir, oh sir, I am a married man, sir. I have 4 children. Sir, oh sir, look at my contribution to India, sir. I have 4 children, sir. I have 4 children, sir. My question to you is, sir, can I claim? Now, company is giving children hostel allowance. Company is giving children hostel allowance for all 4 children. Or 4 children, sir. It is giving 2000 rupees. Company is giving 500 rupees per month per child. It is giving completely 2000 rupees. Sir, my question to you is, how much is exempt, sir? My question to you is, how much is exempt? Lawmaker says rupees 300 per month per child is exempt. Through rupees 300 per month per child, maximum for 2 children you can claim this exemption. For how many children, sir? Maximum 2 children you can claim the exemptions. So in this case, 2000 minus, sir, can I claim the exemption of 500 rupees? You are receiving 500 rupees. Can I claim the exemption of 500 rupees? No. Exemption is how much? 300 rupees per month per child. So how much you will get? 300 into 2 children. So per month you will get 600 rupees. So 2000 minus 600 is your exempt amount. Whatever 2000 minus 600, whatever amount you are getting, that will be included in your salary. That will form part of your salary. That is the taxable amount. That is the taxable amount. Sir, 300 rupees per month is exempt. No, sir. Yes, sir. My employer is giving 200 rupees per month. I have 1 child, and he is giving for 1 child, he is giving 200 rupees per month. Sir, my question to you is, how much is exempt? Sir, you said that 300 rupees per child is exempt, sir. You said 300 rupees per child is exempt, sir. Now, sir, I am getting 200 rupees. So how much is the exemption which I am going to get? What the law says, exemption is maximum 300. Maximum 300 means what, sir? Meaning, if you are getting more than 300, take the benefit of 300. If you are getting 300, take the benefit of 300. If you are getting less than 300, obviously you will get an exemption of whatever amount you are getting only, no? Now in this case, how much you are getting? 200 rupees. How much exemption can you claim? 200 rupees. Maximum exemption which can be claimed by you is 300. Maximum exemption which can be claimed by you is 300 rupees. But if you are getting amount less than 300, if you are getting amount less than 300, then whatever amount you are getting, that will be fully exempt. It will be fully exempt. Again, maximum you can claim is for 2 children. So sometimes it may happen that you have 3 children, company is giving 150 rupees per child. Okay, per child, per month it is giving how much? 150 rupees. So you are getting how much amount, sir? Totally you are getting 450 rupees. Now, sir, how much is the exemption which I am going to get? You will get exemption for 150 into 2, say 300 into 2 or 150 into 2, whichever is less, which is 150 into 2. total you will get 300 rupees. Only for 2 children you can claim the exemption. So whatever amount they have given to you, or 300 rupees, whichever is less, is the exemption which you can claim for per child, one child. And how many children you can take this benefit for? Maximum 2 children you can take this benefit for. I hope this point is very clear to all, clear to you all. So how much is the exemption which you are going to get for hostel, sir? The amount of exemption which you are going to get for hostel is maximum 300 rupees per child for a maximum of 2 children. Even if you have more than 2 children, I don't care. Lawmaker says I'll give benefit only for 2 children. Next exemption. Exemption number, sorry, allowance, next allowance, allowance number 3. Sir, what is the third allowance, sir? Children education allowance. What is the next allowance, sir? Children education allowance. Now, children education allowance, if your company, if your employer is giving you something called as children education allowance, then the children education allowance is also exempt. Sir, how much is exempt, sir? Maximum rupees 100 per month is exempt. How much is exempt? Maximum rupees 100 per month is exempt per child. Maximum rupees 100 per month per child for a maximum of 2 children. So again, now please note, same computation etc. mechanism is same. Whatever examples I gave you, same point you can put over here also for children education allowance. But how much is the exemption which will be given to you for children education allowance? So if, see, whether you have a child or not, you will get the exemption. Whether your children are going to school or not, you will get the exemption. If the company is giving you this allowance, then you can take the benefit. As simple as that. If the company is giving you this money, then you can take the benefit. How much benefit you can take? You can take maximum 100 rupees per month. And for maximum how many children you can take? Maximum 2 children you can take this benefit. Sir, oh sir, 100 rupees what education will I get, sir? Sir, 300 rupees, which is that school which charges only 100 rupees fees, sir? Please note, this law was made long back, okay? Now they have not increased this amount, the limit of 300 rupees, the limit of 100 rupees, etc. 10 years back, when I studied this, no, when I was in my intermediate or when I was in my final, the same limit was there. Today also the same limit is there. So it is just there in the law. Lawmakers are not changing this particular thing. The limits are not changed in the law. Next allowance is what, sir? Tribal area allowance. Next type of allowance is what, sir? Tribal area allowance. Next type of allowance is what, sir? Tribal area allowance. Tribal area allowance means what, sir? Now sometimes what happens is there may be some employees who are deputed by the company in tribal area. Maybe they have a manufacturing region over there, or maybe you are an army employee. You are servicing the Indian Army, and therefore you have been deputed to tribal area. You have been posted or deputed to tribal area. Now you will get something called as tribal area allowance. Or sometimes if your company is in tribal area, many times it happens that for the construction of construction work employees etc., they may be deputed in forest region or tribal area region for construction. The government has some project of constructing a road in that particular region, so they may be deputed over there. So these people will receive something called as tribal area allowance. They will receive something called as what's a tribal area allowance. Now this tribal area allowance, if you are receiving tribal area allowance, then it is exempt. How much is exempt, sir? Maximum rupees 200 per month is exempt. Maximum how much is exempt, sir? Maximum 200 rupees per month is exempt. If you are getting this tribal area allowance, then tribal area allowance will be exempt. How much will be exempt, sir? Maximum 200 rupees will be exempt. Maximum 200 rupees will be exempt. Then the next allowance which we have is allowance for employees of transport company. The next allowance which we have is allowance for employees of transport company or transport undertaking. Now this allowance is also called as truck driver allowance. It is also called as what, sir? Truck driver allowance. Normally, if you are an employee of transport company, you may get an allowance called as truck driver allowance, or you may get allowance. These employees get some specific kind of allowances because they are mostly deputed. They mostly are involved in traveling, bus drivers, truck drivers, etc. Most of the time they will be outside only. They will not be at their office location, so they will get something called as truck driver allowances, or they will get allowances for transport and employees of transport undertaking. Allowances for employees of transport undertaking. Now, whatever amount they are getting, exemption will be given to them. For them, exemption will be given to them. How much exemption will be given to them, sir? Whatever amount they are receiving, actual amount which is received by them, into 70% of that. Whatever amount they are getting into 70%, or there is a limit. There is a limit of rupees 10,000, whichever is less. So either 10,000 rupees, or if you have received 5,000, then 70% of 5,000, 3,500, whichever is less, 3,500 or 10,000, whichever is less, you will get an exemption of that amount. If you are a truck driver, if you are working for an transport company, transport undertaking, then the company may give you a separate kind of allowances called as truck drivers allowances. So this truck drivers allowances which is there, those people who are working for that company, they will get an deduction, they will get an exemption. They will get an exemption of how much, sir? They will get an exemption of rupees 10,000, or actual amount which is received by them into 70%. Next, underground allowance. Next type of allowance is what, sir? Underground allowance. Sir, what is this underground allowance? So there are many companies wherein like, say for example, if you would have watched this movie called as KGF. Now if you see the employees of KGF, if you see that particular company, assuming it is a company, and the people who are working over there, they are working under the earth, like coal minings, etc., gold mines, etc. Coal mine employees, they will work under the earth. They will all work where, sir? They will all work under the earth. So these people, because they are all working what, sir? These people, because they are working, so what is this called as? Coal mine employees. If you see these people, no, they will all be working under the earth. Okay, so they will all be working under the earth. Somewhere under the earth they will be working. Now somewhere under the earth these people will be working, somewhere under the earth these people will be working. Therefore for these people, these companies, the coal mining, etc., or gold mine industries, etc., these people, these companies may give, the employers may give them something called as underground allowance. This underground allowance which these people are getting, no, this underground allowance which these people are getting is exempt. How much is exempt, sir? Maximum rupees 800 per month. How much exemption will be given? Maximum rupees 800 per month will be exempt. How much, sir? Maximum rupees 800 per month will be exempt. Underground allowance. Maximum how much, sir? Maximum 800 rupees. So we have seen how many allowances. As of now we have seen 6 allowances. Commutation allowance, also called as transport allowance. Normally it is fully taxable. However, if you are a handicapped employee, then 3,000 rupees, 3,200 per month is exempt. Children hostel allowance, 300 rupees per month per child for a maximum of two child is exempt. Children education allowance, 100 rupees per month per child for a maximum of two child is exempt. Tribal area allowance, rupees 200 per month is exempt. Then truck drivers allowance, actual amount into 70%, or 10,000 rupees, whichever is less, is exempt. And underground allowance, maximum 800 rupees exemption will be given to you. Next allowance is your, I'll just write the list of all these allowance. Next allowance is what, sir? Your daily allowance, Next allowance is your daily allowance. Then we have your uniform allowance. Then we have your conveyance allowance. I'll explain one by one. There is nothing to explain, by the way. Then we have your helper allowance. You can please note it down along with me only. Helper allowance, helper allowance, helper allowance. This allowance is also called as assistant allowance, assistant allowance. Then we have academy allowance. Academy allowance is also called by other names. I'll write those names also. Academy allowance is also called as research allowance or professional development allowance. Research allowance or professional development allowance. Then we have point number 12. Traveling allowance. This traveling allowance is also called by one more name as tour allowance or transfer allowance. It is also called by the name what, sir? Tour allowance or transfer allowance. So we have these other allowances. What are these other allowances, sir? Daily allowance. Then we have uniform allowance. Then we have conveyance allowance. Then we have helper allowance or assistant allowance, academy allowance, research allowance, yeah, professional development allowance, traveling allowance, tour allowance or transfer allowance. Now what are these different allowances, sir? Can you please tell us about these allowances first? Yes, definitely I'll tell you. Now daily allowance means what, sir? Daily allowance means what? Now there are some kind of employees who are normally involved in they normally don't work at the office, but they are involved in the outside work. They are mostly involved in the outside work. So for them, for daily expenses, the company may give some money to them. Called as daily allowances. Say the company, say Priya Saris has employees who are salesmen. Now these salesmen are normally outside Priya Saris only. Now they are outside salesmen, meaning not the salesmen who are working inside the Priya Saris. Now as soon as you go to the Priya Saris, you will find different salesmen who are selling the sari. Not these salesmen, but those salesmen who supply the goods to different customers, different sari stores in the city or in the country. Now these employees are normally outside the company. Normally they will not come to Priya Saris. Normally their work is to take different orders of the clients, customers, and then dispatch those goods to those customers. So normally they are involved in outside work. Or you may take, say, your say if you are an employee of a transport company, in such cases, if you are a bus driver or bus conductor, normally your work will be outside only. Normally you will not sitting some AC office, etc. You will not work over there. You will have to do the day-to-day working outside the company only. So this company, what they give is, they give something called as daily allowances. So for their food purpose, etc., because they are outside, they may need some money for expenses, for some water charges, etc. These employees get something called as daily allowances. So that daily allowances, that is what, sir? That is your daily allowances. Then we have uniform allowance. Then we have something called as uniform allowance. Now there are some companies for which uniform is mandatory, or there are some different sectors wherein the uniform is mandatory. The people are are supposed to be in that uniform only. Say again, I just gave an example of bus conductor, bus driver, etc. So this bus conductor, bus driver, normally I have seen in some cities, some states, these bus conductor goobe fellows, they don't have any uniform at all. In Bangalore at least, in Karnataka at least, we have a very good system, and I feel that system should be there. Yeah, that system should be there. There should be a differentiating factor between them. So there are some cities, okay, there are some cities I have seen wherein these bus drivers, the conductors or the auto drivers, they don't have any uniform at all. Anyone, I mean, I don't know whether actually by seeing them we will not be able to identify whether he is a conductor or he is a bus driver or not. They are just wearing some normal daily clothes, etc. There is no difference between them and the normal public which is traveling in the bus. But in Bangalore, Karnataka, we have a very beautiful system wherein the bus drivers, etc., they have a proper uniform. So if he is an AC bus driver, there is a separate uniform for them. Volvo bus drivers, etc., normal bus drivers will have a separate uniform. So that kind of system should be there. Similarly, auto drivers also, we have that khaki uniform which is there. They should wear it compulsorily. Now, anyways, so there are some jobs like we have security jobs, security guards, etc., who will be in an uniform, etc. So there may be some companies, etc., which may have uniform, let's say blue shirt and blue jeans, etc., some kind of uniform these companies will be having. So there are some sectors, etc., for which uniform is mandatory. So the employer may give them money for their uniform purpose. Employer may give them money for uniform purpose. You will see Domino's people who are having an uniform, etc. So the company or the employer may give money for the uniform purpose. That is called as uniform allowance. Then we have conveyance allowance. Then we have something called as conveyance allowance, or it is also called as local conveyance allowance. Now, what is this conveyance allowance, sir? What is this conveyance allowance? See, now there are three things: conveyance allowance, transport allowance or commutation allowance, and we have this traveling allowance. Though all these three are related to traveling only. So first we studied about transport allowance. Then now we are seeing what, sir? Conveyance allowance. And I'll also discuss about traveling allowance now only. Now, what is the difference between all the three are related to transportation only? What is the difference between three of them? Now, what is this transport allowance, sir? Transport allowance or commutation allowance, also called as what, sir? Commutation allowance. This is the money which is given for transportation of employee from office to house, house to office, office to house, house to office, office to house, house to office. However, conveyance allowance is given for local transportation. Local conveyance or local transportation. So just just like I said about the daily expenses, etc. So employees may get conveyance allowance. Say there may be an employee who is going out and securing orders. For example, in my articleship, I'll talk about myself only. Why about other people? During my articleship, no, we were supposed to visit different clients. We were supposed to visit different client. Now please note, articleship, those who are doing articleship, they are not employees of that company. They are just article assistant. Okay, they are just interns. But still, as an example, I'm giving you this point. There are paid assistants also who were working. So whenever we used to go to visit different clients, no, we used to get 3 rupees per liter. We used to get 3 rupees per liter as conveyance allowance. Used to get this, they used to reimburse. If I am taking my own vehicle, no, they used to reimburse this amount to me, 3 rupees per liter. So we used to get this conveyance allowance, But normally for us, it was a reimbursement only, whatever expenses we were incurring, 3 rupees per liter, they used to calculate and give this money to us. So now 3 rupees per, what, sir? 3 rupees per liter they used to give. Nowadays, I think sir would have increased the limit. Anyways, so this is conveyance allowance, because we are traveling to the different places in the same locality, in the same place where our office is there, in the same city or in the same location where our office is there, we will get something called as conveyance allowance. Then we have something called as traveling allowance, tour allowance or transfer allowance. Now, sometimes what happens is the company, there are employees who are going for outstation. Say we are going for outstation audit, so we are getting traveling allowance. Now Priya Saris employees are there. Now Priya Saris is located at Bangalore. We also supply goods at Mumbai. We supply the goods at Chennai. We supply the goods at Jaipur. We supply the goods at Kolkata. Now So we have employees who are going to these different locations for securing the order, for their traveling purpose, for their tour purpose. We will give some money to them called as traveling allowance or tour allowance. Traveling allowance or tour allowance. Okay, so these are the different kind of transport related allowance. Then we have something called as helper allowance. Now helper allowance benefit can be taken by you provided you are using this helper for your office work. So this helper should be used for your office work. Now helper allowance, we have something called as helper allowance. Now I am a person who is working for a company, and my main work is coding, etc. My main work is writing the content, etc. Now I want to check, say I have written a book, I have written a beautiful book. Now this book, assuming this is only my book, now this book I want to print this book. Now I want to check whether the margins are properly given or not, etc. So for that reason I am asking one of my employees to print this book. I am asking one of my employee, say this is my GST book which is written. So now I want to check whether this material which is written by me, whether this material is proper or not, etc. Now whether this material, the margins which I have left, the space which I have left is proper or not. So I am involved completely in typing and making this book. I have one helper who, say, as soon as I write some 10, 15 pages, 20 pages to check whether for the margins, I ask him to please go out and take the printout and come. Now he is my helper. So just like this, there are many software companies, software employees who will have a specific helper whom the company will give to these people. So this the company may give a specific helper to these particular kind of employees. Okay, so this helper allowance, if you are getting this helper allowance, and this helper should be used for your office work, he should be used for your office work, then also it is covered over here. Then we have academic allowance. Sir, what do you mean by academic allowance, sir? Academic allowance means there are some professions, there are some kind of work, jobs wherein your professional development or your knowledge should be upgraded. For example, our profession, chartered accountant profession, cost accountant profession, company secretary profession. For us, we should get updated on day-to-day basis. We should be knowing about the different changes which is happening in the law. What is the budget telling? What are the changes which is made in the law because of this budget, etc. So now we are going to get something called as academic allowances. So many companies who are working in software industry, so learning about the new coding languages, etc., the company may give them professional development research allowance or academic allowances. So that allowance is covered. And traveling allowance is something which we have discussed. Sir, you have told about all these allowances, you have just given the meaning, but what is the exemption, what is the amount of exemption which I am going to get? Now for this daily allowance, uniform allowance, conveyance allowance, helper allowance, academic allowance and traveling allowance, you are going to get an exemption. Correct, sir? How much exemption? That is what I am asking you. How much exemption I am going to get for all these allowances? No, for all these allowances, you are going to get an exemption. Yes, sir. How much exemption will I get? You will get an exemption of the amount which is exempt shall be equal to amount which is actually spent by you. Amount actually spent. So whatever amount you are actually spending, if you are spending 10 rupees, 10 rupees will be exempt. For example, I got an uniform allowance of 2000 rupees. The company gave me 2000 rupees for uniform. I purchased an uniform for 1200 rupees. That means what, sir? How much is exempt? 1200 rupees is exempt. That means 800 rupees will be taxable. For my daily I got a daily allowance for lunch, etc., transportation, etc. I got a daily allowance of rupees, say 200, but I incurred an expenses of rupees 100. So how much is exempt? 100. So these are the different allowances: daily allowance, uniform allowance, conveyance allowance, helper allowance, academic allowance and traveling allowance. These are the different allowances for which you will get an exemption only if you are spending, only if the amount is spent by you. And how much exemption will you get, sir? The amount which is actually spent. The amount which is actually spent. Sir, what if I get an allowance of 1000 rupees? Say I got an uniform allowance of 1000 rupees, but I incurred an expenses of 1200 rupees. So how much is the exemption? Obviously you will get an exemption only of 1000 rupees, because how much ever you have received, that exemption only you will get, you will not get extra exemption. So how much ever amount you are receiving, or the amount which is spent by you, amount received, amount spent, whichever is less is the exemption which will be given to you. Amount received or amount spent, whichever is less, will be given to you as exemption. Daily allowance, uniform allowance, conveyance allowance, helper allowance, academic allowance, or traveling allowance. Like company has given me helper allowance. Company says, Dilip, you can appoint a helper as per your wish. You can pay money to your helper, etc. You will get this helper allowance. Now I have not appointed any helper at all. I have not appointed any helper. I don't need any helper. I have not appointed any helper, sir. Now because I have not appointed any helper, now will I get any exemption? No, I will not get any exemption. So nothing is spent by me. No exemption will be given. Academic allowance and traveling allowances. Academic and traveling allowances. Okay, so these are the different allowances. There are some two more allowances which I will be discussing about. Sir, how do I remember these allowances, sir? So there is a small memory technique which I have made to remember these allowances. You cheat or cheat you. Cheat you, duck hat. If you pronounce it as you cheat duck hat, it is good, but I have written it in this format only. So you cheat duck hat. What do you mean by you cheat duck hat, sir? You cheat or cheat you duck hat. Cheat you is what, sir? Cheat you is C for commutation allowance, H for hostel allowance, E for education allowance, A for tribal area allowance, and T for truck drivers allowance, and U for underground allowance. Cheat you. C for commutation allowance, H for hostel allowance, E for education allowance, A for tribal area allowance, T for truck drivers allowance, and U for underground allowance. Cheat you. C for commutation allowance, H for hostel allowance, E for education allowance, A for tribal area allowance, T for truck driver allowance, and U for underground allowance. Duck hat means what, sir? D for daily allowance, U for uniform allowance, C for conveyance allowance, H for helper allowance, A for academy allowance, T for traveling allowance. Duck hat. Sir, what do you mean by duck hat, sir? Oh, sir, tell me, sir, what do you mean by duck hat? D for daily allowance, U for uniform allowance, C for conveyance allowance, H for helper allowance, A for academy allowance, T for transport allowance. You cheat duck hat. 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 See, you can remember it as you cheat duck hat, but yeah, I have written in which format, sir? Cheat you. Okay, you cheat duck hat. You cheat duck hat. You cheat duck hat. Okay, next allowance which is there is your house rent allowance, and very important allowance. This is an allowance which is very, very important. Mostly this is an allowance about which question they ask in your examination. This is the allowance about which they will ask question in your examination. Which allowance, sir? HRA, house rent allowance. Sir, what is this house rent allowance, sir? I am going to tell you. Wait. Sir, tell us, sir. Fatafat tell us, sir. Fast, please tell us, sir. Are patience. My patience is running. Ding. House rent allowance, also called as what, sir? HRA, also called as what? Also called as HRA. Also called as what, sir? HRA. Also called as what, sir? HRA, house rent allowance. House rent allowance, HRA. Now, house rent allowance, very important. Sir, how much is the exemption which I am going to get? The exemption which you are going to get is under section 1013A. Sir, tell me how much is the exemption which I am going to get? How much is the exemption for house rent allowance which I am going to get? House rent allowance, please note I have written the section number. That means what, sir? Section number is also important for this. For this, section number is also important. House rent allowance. House rent allowance is exempt under section what, sir? Under section 10 subsection 13a. How much is exempt, sir? 1. 40% or 50% of salary. 40% or 50% of salary. Point number 2. Actual HRA which you are receiving. Point number 3. Rent paid minus 10% of salary. Rent paid minus what, sir? Rent paid minus 10% of salary. So how much is exempt? 40% or 50% of salary, or actual HRA which is received by you, or rent paid minus 10% of salary. Rent paid minus what, sir? 10% of salary. Rent paid minus 10% of salary. This whichever is less. Compare all of this and take what, sir? And please take whichever is less. Please take what? Please take what? Please take what? Whichever is less. 40% or 50% of salary, actual HRA received, or rent which is paid by you minus 10% of salary. Rent which is paid by you minus 10% of salary, whichever is less, is the amount of exemption which you are going to get for HRA. It is the amount of exemption which you are going to get for HRA. Sir, oh sir, whoa, sir, tell me. Oh sir, tell me no. Sir, tell me sir, what do you mean by salary? Sir, you are telling 40% or 50% of salary, sir. Correct. Sir, what do you mean by salary over here? Oh, sir, please tell no, sir. What do you mean by salary? Salary means same salary, same. Sir, what do you mean by same, sir? Salary over here means what, sir? Salary here means basic plus DA in terms and turnover commission which is based on a fixed percentage of turnover. So this total is required to be taken. So what is salary over here? Salary is basic plus, what is salary for HRA, sir? For HRA, the salary is basic plus DA in terms plus turnover commission. Basic plus DA in terms plus turnover commission. So total this you will get your salary. Sir, you say 40% of salary or 50% of salary. What should I take? Should I take 40% of the salary or 50% of salary? It depends on where you have taken the property on rent. It depends on where you have taken the property on rent. So you can write a note over here. Note. Take 50% of salary. Take how much? 50% of salary for how much, sir? For what, sir? Metro cities. You are supposed to take how much? 50% of salary. For whom should I take 50% of salary, sir? For your metro cities. Sir, what do you mean by metro cities, sir? The cities in which metro is there, sir? Is the metro cities means the cities where metro is there? No. Metro city over here, for income tax purpose, 50% of salary for HRA computation is required to be taken for Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. Okay, and Kolkata. Okay, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. For if you have taken house on rent at these places, if you have taken house on rent on these places, then you take 50% of salary, or else normally it will be 40% of salary. So if you are working say in Pune, if you are working in say Jaipur, if you are working in say Bangalore, how much will you take? 40% of salary. If you are working over there, and I am assuming that you don't have a house and you have taken a house on rent over there, you have taken house on rent over there, how much exemption will you get? You will get an exemption of how much, sir? You will get an exemption of 40% of salary or 50% of salary. Now, two very important point you should note. You will get an HRA exemption only if you are paying the rent. You will get an HRA exemption only if you are paying the rent. So if you are an employee and if you are not paying the rent, will I get an HR exemption? Answer is no. HR exemption will be given to you only if the employee is paying the rent. If the employee is not paying any rent, he will not get any HR exemption. He will not get any HR exemption. Sir, why, sir? See, if you are not paying any rent, that means what's a rent paid minus 10% of salary. Rent paid is 0 minus 10% of salary. Obviously, it will come some negative amount. So negative amount, whichever is less is what's a negative. Negative you cannot take, so you will take what's a 0. So HR exemption will be given to you only if the rent is paid by you. If you are not paying any rent, sir, HR will not be given. Now, one more very important thing. Where you are working is not important. Where you are working is not important. You may be working in Delhi, but you are staying in Gurgaon. You may be working in Delhi, you are staying in Jaipur. You are doing up and down. You may be working in Bangalore. You may be working in Bangalore and staying at Chennai. Staying at Mysore. You may be working in Chennai and staying at Bangalore. You may be working at Mumbai and staying at say Thane, or you may be staying at say Pune, any place, okay, any place, etc. Now in this case where you are working is not relevant. So this 50% or 40% will not depend on where you are working. This 40% or 50% will depend on where you are taken the house on rent. The place where you have taken on the house on rent is important, not your place of employment. So what is important, sir? The place of residence is important and not the place of employment. So two important note, please write it down. Please write it down. Please write these two important note. I am just writing over here. So what are these two important notes, sir? In note number 1, HRA exemption is allowed only if rent is paid. Only if rent is actually paid. So if you are staying in your own house, no HRA benefit can be taken, meaning whatever HRA you are receiving, complete amount will be taxable. If you are not paying any rent, then HRA exemption will not be given. And second point, what is the second point, sir? The place of residence is important and not the place of employment. So if an employee works at Delhi and stays at Jaipur, then he will get 40% of salary should be taken. Okay, 40% of salary should be taken. Last point, point number 14. One last point. X1V 14. All other allowances. All other allowances. So in your examination or in your material, if you see your material, there are some 15-20 allowances which are there. Some cases, some books, they have written 21 allowances, etc. Now all the different allowances apart from whatever above is written, all the other allowances, if you see any other allowances, no, then what should you write, sir? It is fully taxable. So any other allowance apart from this allowance, any other allowance apart from this allowance is what, sir? Any other allowance apart from this allowance is fully taxable. Any other allowance apart from this allowance is what, sir? It is fully taxable. All the different types of allowances apart from you cheat duck hat HRA, apart from this allowance, any other type of allowance if you are saying, it is fully taxable. Any other type of allowance if you see apart from this you cheat duck hat, then it is what, sir? It is fully taxable. It is what, sir? It is fully taxable. So you may find tiffin allowance, in the question they may be giving tiffin allowance, taxable. You may find medical allowance, taxable. City compensatory allowance, taxable. You may find different types of allowance apart from the allowances which we are seeing over here. It is fully taxable. The allowances, whatever different types of allowances which are there, no, apart from you cheat duck hat HRA, you cheat limit based, duck hat expenditure based, spent based. So if you are spending only, then you will get the exemption. And HRA, the limits are there, 40% or 50% of salary, actual HRA received, rent paid minus 10% of salary. Now obviously we'll be doing 1 or 2 questions, 3-4 questions for all the, for understanding these points, etc. So let us solve questions. Let us take a break of 2 seconds and solve the questions. So let us do some questions on this allowances. So let us solve 2-3 questions. Majorly the questions on HRA will be with respect to the questions on allowances will be with respect to HRA only, and obviously they can ask you single line adjustments etc. in your 8 marks question, which they are going to ask in the examination. 8 or 6 marks question, they may ask allowances, 1 or 2 adjustments. So let us solve 1 or 2 questions with respect to allowances. Now what is this question telling? Mr. Shrikant has 2 sons. He is in receipt of education allowance of rupees 150 per month for his elder son and rupees 70 per month for his younger son. Both of his sons are going to schools. He also receives the following allowances. Okay, so he has received education allowances. Okay, how much education allowance is exempt? Rupees 100 per month per child for a maximum of 2 children, and he is also receiving transport allowances of 1800. Transport allowance, how much ever you receive, it does not matter, it is fully taxable. And he is receiving tribal area allowance. Tribal area allowances 200 rupees per month is exempt. Now let us just solve this question. I mean, there is nothing to solve in this, but yeah, we will have to solve it because they have asked the question. So please note, in examination this is very important to write. Whenever you are writing your answer, always write Mr. the name of the SSC, Mr. Shrikant. This will obviously add a little weightage for your marks. Mr. Shrikant, previous year 22-23, assessment year 23-24. Particulars or computation of taxable allowances, particulars, rupees. So first one we have children education allowance. First one we have children education allowance. Children education allowance. So 2 child 1, child 2. For child 1, how much is he getting? He is getting 150 rupees per month. How much is exempt? Rupees 100 per month is exempt, so less rupees 100 per month into 12 months. So 50 into 12, we have 600 rupees. For second child, he got 70 rupees per month. Now he got 70 rupees. Can you exempt 100 rupees? He got only 70 rupees. Can you exempt 100 rupees? So 70 rupees or amount you have received, whichever is less. So I'll reduce 70 rupees into 12 months. So what is taxable? Nothing is taxable. Then he has got transport allowance. Now in case of transport allowance, it is fully taxable. So I'll write it at 1800 into 12 months. 21,600. And then we have tribal area allowance. Tribal area allowance rupees 500 per month less 200 per month into 12 months. So has got 300 rupees per month. 12 3s are 36, 3,600. Yeah, so what is the total taxable allowance? Now please note, in the question they have not asked whether it is to be done on monthly basis or on annual basis. So if you have taken 50 rupees, 0 rupees, and here if you have taken 1800 and here if you have taken 300, then you can write it instead of writing rupees, you can write it as rupees per month. So I mean, maybe some students would have done like that, so it does not matter. So taxable allowances since they have not told whether it is per annum or per month, is equal to how much, sir? 600 plus 21600 plus 3600, 25,800. So this is the taxable allowances. In this present case, this is the taxable allowances. So if I want to check it monthly, sir, divided it by 12, you will get around 2150 you will get monthly basis. Okay, next question. Allowances normally, see, very simple. Just remember, you cheat, duck hat. Just remember, you cheat, duck hat. You cheat is limit based, duck hat expenditure based. You cheat, limit based, duck hat is expenditure based. In case of duck hat, if you are incurring the expenditure, then only the deductions will be given. So now see the next question. Next question. Now please try it yourself. Please try this question yourself. I would love it if you try it yourself. Fantastic question, awesome question. Please try it yourself. Pause the video, try it yourself. Nice question, you will love it. You will love it. In the present case, you are required to find the taxable gross salary. You are required to find the taxable gross salary. So in this question, we have salary, basic salary, which is fully taxable. So let me solve it now. You can please watch the video. Please pause the video and solve it. It is fully taxable. This is also fully taxable. Education allowance, he has 1 son, 2 daughter, maximum 2 children, he can take the exemption. Now they have given 1000 rupees per month he has got. 1000 rupees per month he has got. So and they have given in bracket he has 1 son, 3 daughters, so totally 4 children. So obviously this 1000 rupees will be for 4 children and not 1 child. Then 2000 rupees hostel allowance he has got, 300 is exempt. Now they also say none of the child are sent to hostel. Now sir, no children are sent to hostel, still I will get the benefit. Yes, if they have given you the allowance, take the benefit. Medical allowance, what do you mean by medical allowance? Have we studied you cheat, duck hat? We have not studied about medical allowance, therefore fully taxable. Transport allowance, again fully taxable. Servant allowance, sir, what is this servant allowance? Sir, you said helper allowance. Is helper allowance and servant allowance same, sir? No, it is not the same. Anyways, even if it is same, then they should have given the amount of expenditure, correct? So it is not same. City compensatory allowance, fully taxable. Helper allowance, fully taxable. Entertainment allowance, fully taxable. Assistant allowance, yeah, helper is also called as assistant. Helper is not called as servant, but helper is also called as assistant. If you remember, I had made you write over here, helper allowance or assistant allowance for office work. Assistant allowance 3000 rupees per month, he paid 2000 rupees per month for assistant. Okay, 2000 is exempt. Professional development allowance or research allowance, that is nothing but academic allowance, so that is also exempt. Bonus, fully taxable. Sorry, a professional development allowance will be exempt. How much, sir? The amount of expenditure incurred by him. And commission is taxable, and this fees which is there, what he has received, that fee is also taxable component of salary. So what is this person's name? Mr. Mughal Kishore, Jugal Kishore. So answer to the above question, Mr. Mughal, previous year 22-23, assessment year 23-24. Computation of gross taxable salary. Particulars, rupees. First one is basic pay. Basic pay is how much, sir? Sir, basic pay is, I think, 5000 rupees per month into 12 months, so it is 60,000. Then we have dearness allowance. So dearness allowance is also fully taxable. So they have given 50% is in terms, but it does not matter, both the amounts are fully taxable. So dearness allowance is rupees 2000 per month. Please note, compulsory you should give this working in your examination. 2000 into 12, this working is also required to be done compulsorily. How much is it, sir? 24,000 rupees. Then we have children education allowance. Now for this you can make two columns, say rupees, two columns. Children education allowance, he has got 1000 rupees per child, correct? Amount received is 1000 rupees per child, 1000 rupees per child into, sorry, not 1000 rupees per child, 1000 rupees per month into 12 months. He has got totally 12,000 rupees less exempt. How much is exempt, sir? The exemption which is going to get is rupees, for education rupees 100 per child for a maximum of 2 children. So he will get an exemption of 2,400 rupees. So taxable amount will be 9,600. Then we have children hostel allowance. Children hostel allowance. Amount received. Amount received is how much? Amount received is 2,000 rupees per month into 12 months. So here he has received totally 24,000 rupees less exemption. Is rupees 300 per month for a maximum of 2 children. So 300 into 12 into 2, 7,200 rupees minus 24,000, 16,800. Then we have medical allowance, fully taxable. So medical allowance he has received rupees 1000 per month. So this 1000 into 12 fully taxable. Then we have transport allowance. How much transport allowance he has received? 1,800 per month into 12 months. 1,800 into 12, 21,600. Then we have servant allowance, city compensatory allowance. They are also fully taxable. Servant allowance, city compensatory allowance and entertainment allowance. Entertainment allowance. All these three allowances are fully taxable. Servant allowance is rupees 1000 per month into 12 months, 2000 per month into 12 months. Entertainment is 1000 into 12. So we have 24,000, sorry, 12,000, 24,000 and 12,000. Assistant professional development. Assistant allowance. Now here he has received 3,000, he has spent how much? 2,000 rupees. Since he has spent 2,000 rupees, assistant allowance actual expenditure you will get. So it comes under duck hat actual expenditure basis. So how much, sir? 2,000 you, 3,000 you have received, 2,000 you have paid into 12 months. 12,000 rupees. Then we have professional development allowance. Professional development allowance. He has received 2,000 rupees, but he has spent 8,000 rupees. So entire 2,000 will be exempt. He has received 2,000. Please note, he has received 2,000 rupees per month and he has spent 8,000 rupees per month. So entire 2,000 rupees will be exempt. Then bonus we have. Bonus is fully taxable. How much is the bonus? 24,000 per annum. Commission is fully taxable. How much is the commission? 9,000 rupees per annum. And we have fees, that is also fully taxable, 5,000 rupees per month. So what is the total taxable salary? Sir, 60,000 plus 24,000 plus 9,600 plus 9,600 plus 16,800 plus 12,000 plus 21,600 plus 12,000 plus 24,000 plus 12,000 plus 12,000 plus 24,000 plus 9,000 plus 5,000. So it comes to 2,42,000. So if your answer is 2,42,000, you should be happy, very, very happy. So your answer is perfectly right. Gross taxable salary is 2,42,000. Gross taxable salary is how much, sir? 2,42,000. 2,42,000. Okay, let us go to the next question. Next question. So this is your next question on your computer screens. Please solve it yourself. So next question, 20,000 rupees is the basic pay. Dearness allowance is 40% of basic pay, obviously. Turnover commission 700 per month. Children hostel allowance 600 rupees he has received, and this 600 is for 3 children. It is for whom, sir? For 3 children. The word for is missing. For 3 children. So for one child, how much is it, sir? 200 rupees. Okay, so next point is with respect to what's a transport allowance, taxable tiffin allowance, taxable helper allowance. Actual spent will be exempt. Daily allowance will be actual spend, which is duck hat. HRA, he has received HRA exemption is there. So try it yourself once, try it yourself. I'll do it. I'll also obviously do it, but try it yourself. Please try it yourself. Answer. Mr. Dilip, previous year 22-23, assessment year 23-24, computation of gross salary of Mr. Dilip. Computation of what, sir? Gross salary. Particulars rupees. Okay, this time I will be directly writing the answer. Basic pay, so 20,000 per month into 12 months. 2 12s are 24, 2,40,000. 2,40,000. Then we have dearness allowance. Dearness allowance is 40% of 2.4 lakhs, which comes to what, sir? 96,000. Then we have turnover commission, 700 rupees per month. 700 rupees per month, so it comes to 8,400 rupees. Then we have children hostel allowance. Amount received is 600 into 12, 7,200 less exempt Now please note, he has received 600 rupees per month. So obviously how much will it be? 200 rupees per child. So what will be the exemption? 300 or 200, whichever is less. So 200 will be the exemption into 2 child into 12 months. So how much is the exemption is going to get? 4,800. So here it comes to 2,400. Then children, education allowance, amount received is how much? 400 into 12, 4,800, less exempt is, so here in this case I think he has received 125 rupees. 400 divided by 3, 133.33 rupees. So he has received 133.3 or 100 rupees, whichever is less is exempt. So 100 into 2 into 12 is exempt. So how much is exempt, sir? 2,400 rupees is exempt. So how much is exempt in this case? 2,400 rupees. So it comes to 2,400 rupees again. Transport allowance fully taxable. 1,700 into 12 months, 20,400. Then tiffin allowance, again tiffin allowance is also fully taxable. Then helper allowance, actual spend basis exemption is given. So how much ever you have spent, that exemption will be given. Helper allowance, he has not spent anything, so fully taxable. And finally we have daily allowance. This also actual spend basis he will get. 6,000 into 12 months. So he has spent 600 into 12 months. He has spent 6,000 rupees per annum. So it will come to 6,000 into 12 minus 6. Okay, 7,200 minus 6,000 rupees. So he's going to get an exemption of this amount. And lastly we have house rent allowance, working note number 1. HRA exempt under section 10(13)(a) is how much? 40% of which state is he in? Bangalore. So in Bangalore how much is it, sir? 40% of salary. Then actual HRA received, then rent paid minus 10% of salary. Now what is salary for the purpose of HRA? For the purpose of HRA, salary is basic plus for the purpose of HRA, the salary is how much, sir? Basic plus DA in terms plus turnover commission. What is the salary? So it is basic plus DA in terms plus turnover commission. DA in terms, so in terms is only 60%. So what is the salary for HRA? For HRA, salary for HRA, I'll write it over here. Salary for HRA is basic pay, which is 2,40,000. DA in terms is 96,000 into 60%, which comes to 57,600, and turnover commission. How much is the turnover commission, sir? 8,400. 2,40,000 plus 57,600 plus 8,400. 3,06,000 rupees. So now here it comes to 40% of salary. 3,06,000 into 40%, 12,000, 1,22,400. Actual HRA received is 15,000 rupees, so it is 1,80,000. And rent paid minus 10% of salary comes to 1,13,400. So whichever is less comes to 1,13,400. Therefore HRA exempt is equal to 1,13,400. So we have 1,80,000 HRA received minus 1,13,400, which is exempt. So the taxable HRA comes to 66,600. So your gross taxable salary 528,600. 5,28,600 is the gross taxable salary. So this is the answer to this particular question. Very beautiful question, interesting question. So let us solve the next question. Now let us do some questions on HRA. Okay, let us do some questions on HRA. Nice and simple question I'll ask you. So what does this question say? Mr. X, a resident of Ajmer, receives 48,000 rupees as basic salary during the previous year 22-23. In addition, he gets 4,800 as dearness allowances, which is forming part of basic salary. 7% commission on sales, so that is nothing but turnover commission made by him, and the sales made by him is 86,000 rupees, and rupees 6,000 as HRA. He pays a rent of 5,800. Determine the HRA exempt. So very nice and simple question. So I'll straight away solve the answer. HRA exempt under section 10(13)(a) shall be, he is staying at Ajmer, so 40% of salary or actual HRA received or rent paid minus 10% of salary. So salary for HRA is what, sir? Basic plus day in terms plus turnover commission. Basic salary is how much, sir? 48,000. DA in terms is 4,800, and they say it is forming part of salary. And turnover commission is how much, sir? Turnover commission is 7% of 86,000, which is 6020. 6020. So the total gross salary comes to 58,820. So now 40% of salary comes to how much, sir? 40% of salary comes to 23,528. HRA received is how much? 6,000 into 12. 6,000 into 12. 6,000 in addition he gets, okay. Now in this case, please note, so this computation which we have done is per month basis. Why, sir? Because they have given 6,000 rupees, 5,800 rupees. So obviously 6,000 should be per annum. Sales made by him during the relevant previous year, sales is 86,000 is for the entire year. He receives 48,000 as basic salary. Again, we are taking it as per annum, per month basis. So whatever computed HRA exemption which we are finding is on per month basis. They have not given anything, so we are assuming it is on per month basis, because of rent amount 6,000 rupees. Obviously it cannot be 500 rupees rent, cannot be month, we don't get any property at 500 rupees per month, so it is assumed that it is on monthly basis, so we are doing all the computation based on monthly basis. Then we have actual HRA received. Actual HRA received is how much, sir? 6,000 rupees per month he has received, and rent paid 5,800 minus 10% of salary, which is 5,882. Sir, here we are getting negative. Obviously if it is negative, then we should take what, sir? 0, whichever is less. Therefore HRA exempt is how much, sir? 0. Taxable HRA is HRA received 6,000 minus 0 exempt 6,000 rupees is taxable. Taxable HRA is how much, sir? 6,000 rupees. Problem actually. In CMA material, no, these are the small issues which are there actually. CMA materials, so there are few answers which they have given wrongly, the computation, the questions are somewhere not clear, like this questions it is not clear, and many times in case of salary or other chapters also, salary though there is one beautiful mistake which they do, they don't give whether the dearness allowance is forming part of basic pay or not basic pay, etc. And for some question they take it as forming part of basic pay, and for some question they take it as not forming part of basic pay. So that is one mistake which is there in CMA Institute material. Nothing can be done. Mr. Rajkumar has the following receipts from his employer: basic pay, dearness allowances, commission, motor car for personal use he has received, house rent allowance he has received. Find the amount of HRA which is exempt, and he pays a rent of 16,000 per month, and he stays at Kanpur, and DA is forming part of retirement benefit. DA is forming part of retirement benefit. Nice and simple question. So what is the answer for this answer? Try it yourself, one, please try it yourself. Please try yourself. Try it yourself. Pause the video, try it yourself. Answer: HRA exempt under section 10 subsection 13A shall be equal to 40% of salary. Why, sir? Because he stays in Kanpur. Actual HRA received rent paid minus 10% of salary. So what is the salary for HRA? It is basic plus DA in terms plus turnover commission. What is the basic salary? He is getting 40,000 rupees per month. 40,000 per month. So we can do the computation, because everything is given on monthly basis. We can do the computation on monthly basis only. Then we have dearness allowance. They say it is forming part of retirement benefit. So 6,000 DA in terms, and commission is 50,000 per annum divided by 12. 6,000 rupees is DA in terms, and commission is how much, sir? Commission is, oh, they have not mentioned whether it is a turnover commission or not. So what will we assume? Obviously, if nothing is given, it is assumed not to be turnover commission. I had made you write this particular point. If nothing is given, then it is required to be assumed what, sir? Not to be a turnover based commission. But again, CMA Institute material, they assume it as turnover commission. So since this question is from CA material, we will solve it accordingly. So assuming not turnover commission, just write a note. You can write a note commission is assumed to be as not a turnover based commission. So this is something which you should compulsory write a note. Where the question is not clear, write a note. But CA Institute follows this practice. If nothing is given, then it is not a turnover commission. But CMA Institute follows opposite. So first we have 40% of 46,000. Actual amount received is 15,000 per month, and rent paid is 16,000 per month minus 4,600, which is 10% of salary. So HRA which is exempt is HRA exempt is equal to 11,400. So what is taxable HRA? 15,000 amount received minus 11,400, 3,600 per month. 3,600 per month is the taxable HRA. There is one more question, a very nice question, which I would love if you guys solve it, from CMA material. Very fantastic question, beautiful question. I really like this question. But this question is from which material, sir? This question is from CMA material. Nice and interesting question. Solve it yourself. Solve it yourself. My humble request to solve it yourself. Because if you solve this question, that means you have understood the concept of HRA. That means you have understood the concept of HRA. Nice question. Very beautiful question. Compute the taxable HRA of Mr. Abhijit from the following data. Basic salary is 5,000 per month. Dearness allowances forming part of retirement is 2,000 per month. HRA is 4,000 per month. Rent paid in Pune is 4,000 per month. On 1/7/2022, there was an increment in his basic pay by 1,000 rupees. On 1/10/2022, 1/7 increment in salary by 1,000 rupees. 1/10/2022, employee hired a flat in Kolkata at the same rent as he was posted to Kolkata. So they say that on 1/10/2022 he was posted to Kolkata, and therefore employer took a flat over there on rent. The employer took a flat over there on rent, for which the flat rent was same 4,000 rupees. And on 1/1/2023, employee purchased his own flat and resides there. So from 1st of January 23, he purchased his own flat, and from that date he was staying he was staying in his flat only. So here there is a nice question. See, for first 3 months, so basically what you are supposed to do, for first 3 months, he meaning April, May, June, he was at Pune with a salary of 5,000 per month basic salary. Then from July, August, September, there was an increase in basic salary. He was staying at Pune, but increase in basic salary. Then from 1st of October, he was moved to he was posted to Kolkata. And finally what, sir? And finally from 1st of January, he took his own house, and therefore he was staying in his house. So if he is staying in his house, that means he will not get an HRA exemption. That means he will not get an HRA exemption. So the point is with regard to this. Please solve it yourself. Nice question. So first 3 months 5,000 basic pay, next 3 months 6,000 basic pay, next 3 months here there will be change in that HRA computation. See, Pune 40% of salary, and for Kolkata it is 50% of salary, and last 3 months there is no computation required at all. So try it yourself. Please try it yourself. Try it yourself. If you do a mistake, then obviously you will learn. So mistakes are supposed to be done in your life. You should always do mistake. Only then you will learn. Obviously it is also better to learn from others' mistake, and not doing mistake is very good. I'll just write the working for you over here. So HRA point number 1. So 1st April 22 to 30th June 22, 1st July 22 to 30th September 22, then from 1st October 22 to 31st December 22, and from 1st January 23 to 31st of March 23. So this is the information. Now so which place he was in? Place is Pune, Kolkata and Kolkata. This is just for your explanation. Obviously you don't have to write this in for your examination. This whatever working I am doing, this is just for your explanation that how we are going to solve the problem. So house type, what is the type of house? The type of house is rented. For this period also it is rented in Kolkata, and for last period it is owned. So next I will write HRA exemption available or not available. HRA exemption available, first case yes, second case is HRA exemption available yes, third case yes, and fourth case no, because it is an owned property. Percentage of exemption, here I'll take 40% of salary, 40% of salary, 40%, 50% of salary, and lastly there is no obviously exemption, therefore no percentages, etc. Now here next point I am writing salary for HRA. What is the salary for HRA? Basic pay plus DA in terms plus turnover commission. Now they have given basic pay, DA in terms, and they have not given turnover commission. So basic plus DA 5,000 plus 2,000. So here it will be 5,000 rupees plus 2,000 rupees plus 0, which is 7,000 rupees for 3 months. Then basic was increased by 1,000 rupees. So basic will become 6,000. There is no change in DA, and there is no change in there is no turnover commission which is receiving. So here I will get 8,000 rupees. Then the same salary is for next period also 6,000 rupees plus 2,000 rupees. When he was in Kolkata, there was no change in salary, and for last thing there is no computation required to be done because the property was owned. Now computation of HRA exempt. So now we have taken now we know how much percentage he is going to get, 40% or 50% of salary. Now we also know what is the salary for the purpose of HRA, 7,000, 8,000 and 8,000 depending upon which quarter it is. So what is the HRA exemption which he is going to get, sir? What is the amount of exemption? So exemption will be A, B, C, whichever is less. So for A, 40% or 50% of salary. Then we have actual HRA received. Then we have rent paid minus 10% of salary. So I'll write it separately for quarter 1, quarter 2 and quarter 3. Sir, how, sir, quarter 1? This period 1, period 2, period 3. So this is quarter 1 from April to June, then quarter 2 from July to September, then quarter 3 October to December, quarter 4 anyways he is not going to get any deduction, so I am not writing that. So quarter 1, 40% of salary. What is the salary? 8,000 rupees. 8,000 rupees is the salary. So 40% of salary. Quarter 1 means, please note, Whatever computation we are writing will be for 3 months. Salary which I have written is monthly salary, and so salary for quarter I'll write it over here. So 21,000, 8 3s are 24,000. So for salary for quarter is 24,000. Okay. Now we have over here 8,400 rupees, which is 40% of 21,000. Here also will have same 9. So here it will change. Here it will be 9,600, which is 40% of 24,000, and finally we have 12,000 rupees, which is 50% of 24,000. Then actual amount received is same. There is no change in HRA received. So how much HRA has received? He has received an HRA of 4,000 rupees. 4,000 into how much, sir? 3 months. So 12,000 rupees he has received. 12,000 he has received. Then rent paid minus 10% of salary. He has paid a rent. There is no increment in rent also. Please note, there is no increment in rent. Rent paid is also 4,000. 4 3s are 12,000 per quarter he has paid, minus 10% of salary, minus 10% of 10% of 21,000 in first case. So it will be 4,000 into 12. So for first case I'll just show 4,000 into 12. So rent into 3. So this is the rent paid minus 10% of salary. How much does it come to? It comes to 9,900. Similarly, 4,000 into 3 minus 10% of salary, 2,400. How much does it come to? 9,600. And lastly 9,600. So what is the exemption he is going to get? So compare all of this. Whichever is less is the exemption. So for first case, exemption is 8,400 plus 9,600 plus 9,600. So HRA exempt is equal to 27,600. Nice question. So here, I mean, there was nothing new over here, but yeah, what will happen if there is an increase in salary in the middle of the year? What will happen if you shift your employment from one place to another place? So that was something new in this particular topic. I hope you enjoyed learning this particular concept of allowances. So we have completed the discussion on allowances. I hope you enjoyed learning the concept of allowances. So let us meet in our next class. Till then, tada, bye bye, take care.